Hi, thank you for joining me today for a few minutes of faith. Today's text will be Luke 5, 4 and 5. There's a story in Luke chapter 5 where Simon had been out all night fishing, and now he's washing his nets on the shore because he didn't catch anything. Jesus tells him this, and we'll look at verse 4. After speaking a little while, Jesus speaks to Simon. He said, "Move out in deeper water and cast your nets to catch." One version says Simon was so perplexed. This is after he had gotten in the boat. Jesus took it out and ministered to the people. Now, because he had done ministering, he's going to do something for Simon. So he goes on out. He does exactly what Jesus says, but he's very perplexed. Why? Because he's a master fisherman. He knows how to do this, and he knows the conditions. But he makes this statement that is so wonderful. Because you said it, I'll do it. He does this, and his obedience puts him in a position for a word that will bring him an abundance of God and God's blessings. And so I want you to notice something. When I was young, my children, at one time, they were all just not even in school. And I have 10, and so they were from infant all the way to about the 4th or 5th grade. When we were young, we didn't do birthdays very much because we had them all the time. So I made sure that I gave my kids a very big Christmas. Well, you know, in our life, and you may not realize because they seem like little moments, God gives you these times where He wants you to be obedient. And in the obedience, you're setting yourself up for an abundance of blessings. And so what happened was, this was a very hard year for me and my husband, and we weren't able to give the kids the Christmas that we normally gave to them. Once a year, that's all we did. We didn't do a lot of school clothes. We didn't do a lot of other things. I had gotten a call from a lady that was a friend of mine, just an acquaintance, a very small acquaintance. And she said to me, she said, "Virginia, I was in a service and our pastor asked us, 'What are you thankful for?' And everyone gave thanks, but this one lady stopped and she said, 'You know, I had this dream and I'm so thankful for so much God has done. But in this dream, I saw this man and this woman and 10 children. And I want to bless them.' Right away, my friend said, 'I know who they are. That's my friend. She has 10 children and she serves God.' So I get this phone call, and in the phone call, I was asked, 'What do you want for your children?' I was so afraid. No one has ever asked me that. 10 kids. Just to have milk, we have to have 2 or 3 gallons. Cereal, we have to have 2 boxes. Bread, we need 2 loaves. So I didn't know what to say. I panicked and I said, 'Righteousness, peace, and joy in the Holy Ghost.' She probably thought I was crazy. I thought I'd never hear from her. Right before Christmas, a big, like a U-Haul shows up. We open up the door. They said, 'This is from a lady that you had talked to on the phone.' And I'm like, oh my God, what's in there? They pulled out beds. I want you to know my kids all didn't have beds. They pulled out all kinds of equipment for music. All of my children, my sons, my daughters are musical, singing, and instruments. And I thought, oh my God, here comes drum pieces, here comes guitar, here comes so many things, clothes and vouchers and little cards for stores. I got $3,000 worth of cards for Safeways and Save Marts. I couldn't believe it. By the time they filled up my living room, we had to make a path of about 3 feet to walk through. That was an abundance at Christmas time, because my God does exceedingly abundantly above all we can think or ask. I want you to know I don't believe it just happened. I believe there are moments in our life, like Simon, where God has given us these opportunities to get what He wants done, so that you give yourself a position to get what you desire and to give to you. You know, you need to trust God. Allow the little things in life to put you in position for the abundance of blessings. Thank you for watching today on A Few Minutes of Faith. Don't forget the text is Luke 5, verse 4 and 5. Go ahead and leave a comment so we can finish the conversation. Hit the like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week.